Hello and welcome to Thought for December the 6th. Our readings are Job chapter 8, Micah 3 and 4, and Hebrews chapter 13. And our thought is, it shall come to pass in the latter days. One cannot help but be attracted by the way the fourth chapter of Micah's prophecy begins with the words that we have quoted. But first let's think of the significance of verse 11 and 12. Now many nations are assembled against you, saying, Let her be defiled, and let our eyes gaze on Zion. But they do not know the thoughts of the Lord. They do not understand his plan. And this seems to be exactly the attitude of the enemies of Israel today. Now when Micah was prophesying, BC 740 to 720, or thereabouts, as it states in chapter 1 verse 1, it was the last days of the northern kingdom, and in the southern kingdom of Judah, the same decay of true worship was now happening. The attitude of the surrounding nations was to encourage and help the destruction of God's nation by Assyria and later by the Babylonians. But God's words quoted above were not about those days, but about the latter days, for we read, They do not understand his plan, that he has gathered them as sheaves to the threshing floor. Arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make your horn, that is the symbol of strength, iron, and your hooves bronze. You shall beat in pieces many peoples. Verses 12 to 13. This started to happen when Israel became a nation in 1948. But how are we to understand the present? We see a parallel to when Israel first became a nation under King Saul and were successful. And we know that when the Jews first started to return to their promised land 100 and more years ago, that reading the Bible was an essential part of life in the kibbutzim. But like as Saul and his supporters failed to really believe and trust in God, so life became difficult, until God raised up a far more spiritual king, David. And today we await David's greater son to come and complete the fulfillment of these words. Of course, the most wonderful thing to happen in the latter days is that many nations shall come and say, Let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, that he may teach us his ways. For out of Zion shall go forth the law. He shall judge many between peoples. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. And then in contrast to the gods of human imagination, we will walk in the name of the Lord our God forever and ever. Verse 5. Let our aim be to walk in his name here and now. Well, thank you once again for joining us for Thought for the Day, where together we can open up the pages of God's Word, knowing that Word to be a lamp to our feet and a light to our path.